Hey, beautiful siblings, and welcome. It's Jacqueline Hyacinth here with Our Feminine Legacy, and I just wanted to pop on today, post-election, and do a few things. One, give you a big old squeeze. I know that this is a really interesting time with lots of different perspectives, and for those that are celebrating, I'm celebrating with you. It's big. There's a lot of shifts and big change wanting to come through, and our civil liberties or really like you can see that American people were like, enough with this, like what we just went through, enough. And I can also see all of these beautiful, powerful women and people who are grieving and who are afraid and who feel disappointed, who really feel like a woman, it's time for a woman president, and all of these things. And all of those feelings are valid. And I want to just say, please feel your feelings. Please take care of yourself. Please nurture yourself. The reason all of this is happening is so that you can do that very thing. This energy, these feelings were already inside of you, and this external play and this external reality of this orange guy and this other lady, like all of this is happening for you to purge and heal. And so that's your situation. And I have to handle mine, and you have to handle yours. And if you do that, then that is of great service to you and to humanity. And if you choose not to do it, then you will stay in suffering. But this is about our collective evolution. So it's important that we all get like really clear. I think people say this and they meme it, but nobody really understands it. No one is coming to save you. Jesus is not saving you. He's going to come and help you and give you all the tools to support you to do the thing, but he's not coming to save you. And the president is not coming to save you. We are saving ourselves through the power of love. And we are responsible for ourselves, for our emotions, for our energy. And it is a lot to be responsible for, especially because we've been taught since we were so young to be so irresponsible without having like a real deep understanding that our feelings are ours to contend with. We wanted the whole world outside of us to change instead of knowing that we were the ones that needed to change. And so we grew up like this. We grew up victimized. We grew up feeling like we were disempowered from the jump. And our caregivers were modeling this type of behavior. And so we have always felt this kind of way, like it's everybody else's fault. Everything outside of us has to change. And if I fight hard enough, if I yell enough, people outside of me will change. And sometimes that happens, and sometimes not so much. We have to adopt a new, fuller understanding, which encompasses our entire spiritual selves, and also to understand that we are co creating with humanity. So, your reality, what you're experiencing in this election, you're co creating 50%. And then there's the collective. So, you have your idea, and sometimes what you want is not what the collective wants. And this is really uncomfortable. It's really painful. You can see this even when you're in a relationship. One person wants to stay in the relationship, the other person's like, I'm out. I don't want to be in this anymore. So this is something that we have to continuously contend with, and it brings up all the things in all of us. So since we have believed and been raised to believe that there's this one external authority and that this government is the main boss and that we're these smaller, like confused people. It is time, I believe, and I know that the divine is pushing consciousness so, so high and saying, enough. It's like shattering the illusions. Enough of this garbage. We have to stop being so complacent. We have to unlearn these ways. And it's really painful because we're so deeply rooted in these ego structures. And all of us who are in the movement of the divine feminine, this is a beautiful time, really hard time, but a beautiful time as mothers, as women, as leaders, as priestesses, as teachers to say, there's another level of awareness, and we have got to evolve out of who we think we are to make way for a bigger way, a way that is bigger than you and me maybe even wanted. But the mother is always in charge. And when we are in times of frailty or we feel like we're really afraid of what's going on, what's going to happen, we're in the mystery. And humans don't like to be in the mystery. We're really uncomfortable with the unknown. And we want somebody to tell us it's going to be okay. And I'm going to tell you it is going to be okay. And it's also not okay. It's not okay right now. It hasn't been. The way in which we are killing each other on this planet, the way our food supply is coming in, the way our governments have had so much authority and power over us. I mean, it is crazy what we have accepted and allowed as a peoples. And so the mother, the consciousness, the divine is saying enough of this. And so it's not about red and blue. It's not about this funny guy and this woman. It's not about these things. It's not about these people. These are just players in a bigger play of something that has to happen faster. It has to happen now. We can't wait any longer. Like if you can see the mental illness, if you can see, I'm a planetary healer. And many of you are who are watching this. And we cannot contain ourselves and continue to swallow any more of this toxin and this poison. We had to slay. We had to, like the mother's hands, the change has to happen now, by all means necessary. And so, when, even though you might not understand it, you might not like it, we want it to show up in a way that's more elegant or more polished, or we want these people to reflect our values, and we want these people to be like us. We want Trump to, I mean, I want it. I'm like, can I please just do a healing on him and can he speak differently? Like, we have all these ideas of how we want to control other people so that we can feel better. And the reality is, there is an active intelligence that's operating on this planet, and she is wise. And rather than go into despair and think that evil has won, you have to see that the divine hand is in this. The divine has won. We have been like sitting around in shit, accepting very, very horrible behavior, being controlled and manipulated by the masses. That's why you're all in suffering right now. Because for so many generations, our ancestors and us, we have been controlled, manipulated, dominated, colonized, told what to think, told what to feel, told what to do, what to put in our bodies, when to put them in our bodies. And then we're so used to being controlled. We want somebody to control us. We're like enslaved in our psyche. And so, for all of those that are grieving right now, this is a time for you to look at all the oppression and the sadness that you're processing from all the generations of women or men who've come before you, whose voices were stunted, whose women's reproductive rights were withheld, all these things. Now, doesn't mean that what you're feeling and what's happening is actually real. So what you're feeling in your body is yours. I mean, I'm not telling you, I'm not gaslighting you here, but I'm also telling you that there is a reality that somebody's not coming to your house to lynch you. That's not happening. Nobody's going to go and take my gay son who's Puerto Rican and go snuff him out. Like that's not happening. That could have happened before when the other people were in the cabinet and in the nuke. Like we have to bring common sense back and just become aware we are processing a lot of emotion, and so there's a lot of fear and things, and so it's not clear. And when we are emotional like this and we're in suffering, things are not so clear for us. So we need to take time to allow the death to take place, allow the grief to take place, so we have a different type of vision to walk with. I know there's many people on social media who are like making posts about, I don't want a president at all. I want, a clan of indigenous grandmothers. And I'm with you there. I really am. And I'll encourage you, create that clan of mothers in your own community. Nobody's asking you to step back from your responsibility. It's an opportunity to show you where each one of us can rise up in our leadership. Really, this is something that we've been waiting for all the time, and not rise up because you're against a presidency, but an opportunity for you to be like, what are the things you actually want to be a part of co-creating in your reality? What type of mother do you want to be? What type of pillar in your living world, in your family? Who do you want to represent? How do you want to show up? Please do that. Do it in your church. Do it in the street. Do it. Nobody's telling you not to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it. If that's your calling, then that's your designated job from the divine. Let Trump, who was nominated by the divine, and obviously unanimously here in America, we are sick of this shit. So we have brought in somebody who is acutely prepared for this role. And the divine will work that out with him. This we have this idea, and I say this because I know I've been a part of it before, where we have been so indoctrinated to believe that whatever the identity of the person looks like, that they're on our team. I want to tell you that this is such a mass illusion for you. And if you do not learn this discernment now, not everyone is your friend. And also, many people who you think are not your friends actually are working for you. So the mystery is very complex. And as we get shaken down and grow up, I will tell you that Trump is the mother's son. We don't get to choose. We're like so divided psychologically because we were taught Satan acts this way and the divine acts this way. I want to tell you there's a lot of distortion in between. And so we are consistently upgrading our faculties to be able to perceive the realities as they truly are. And as we move out some of the soot and the sadness and the grief, our perceptual reality changes because we're not so laden and heavy with memory. So I love you. You can do this. I can do this. And Trump is doing exactly what he's here to do. And I'm so grateful that he has chosen to do that particular job because I'm not doing it. And obviously, the Divine Mother knew that Kamala was not ready to do that. And maybe, just maybe, which is the truth, the world was not ready for a female president yet because the mother would never put her daughters in this type of position to do this type of work. We've gotten so confused around the roles of the masculine and the feminine. And please know, for those that are like, she's a misogynist. No. Mother Mary was a high, high divine saint, high, high, powerful Ma. And what did she become impregnated with? Jesus, a son, a Shiva. And so we have to understand that there is a rhyme and reason. Women are built differently. Our energetically, we have different roles on the planet. And so we have to get in alignment with what's true for us and start looking around. For all of those that are so bereft that a woman is not in the presidency, it's not because the world hates women. It's not because, please, that white people hate brown people. It's it's not that at all. These are the fictitious stories that have been fed over and over to us to separate us, to make us afraid, to make us hate our neighbor. Like, it doesn't mean that there's not a spark of truth. Of course, there are white people that are racist. Hello. Of course, there are Black people that are racist. Of course, there are really violent satanic women, and they're still in females' bodies, right? There's all kinds of people. So it's important that you really, really understand that. And so the mother is highly intelligent, and you have to surrender now and trust the job that she is entrusting to him. And that doesn't mean that you put all of your eggs in your basket and you're like, he's going to do everything and save us. No, but he's going to be the bulldog who's going to be completely crazy with his mouth. He's a wild card. We hired him to go in and blow shit up, like to change things, to break up the mafia, to change things with corporations, to get health back in order. And I don't know whether he's going to fulfill that, but I know that already it's the change is palpable inside of me, inside of the people that I know. There's something that is lifting on the planet. And so be aware that there is something bigger and trust. You have to trust life. For those that are like, something's wrong. Something's been wrong a long time. It's not because the election's been tampered with. It's because you've been tampered with. So have I. All these thoughts and ideas, what do you think? Like a fairy godmother came and put them in your head? They have been literally charging you with negative thoughts and ideas for a long time. And during COVID, what they did with the vaccines and what they did with the mind control, I mean, it is horrendous. So if you can't see how we got from here to here, you're missing and you're forgetting. I like to use this idea of, like, as a mother, I'm a mama. So giving birth, you're like, I never want to do that shit again. It is terrible, so painful. And then a few days later, you're like, I'll do that again in a minute. Like, I'm so in love. The oxytocin kicks in, you're like, I can do it again. That's what's happening here. We have only people never got the oxytocin and they forgot. Hello. Do you see what's happened over the past 4 years? And it's before this 4 years. Let's be clear. Enough. We have given away our rights over and over again, and we're still trying to suss that out. So each one of us is being called to a new level of maturity, a new level of consciousness, because shit has to change, because we actually all want the same things. Most of us want the same things. To have a world filled with fucking light, that our kids are healthy and strong, that everybody is mentally sound, that we can love one another and play and heal and work together and build the communities we want to build and be strong in our eldership and lead with integrity instead of leading everybody into the same old chaos and being responsible for making more people sick. Come on. You knew this change had to come. No one is going to save you from the big virus. No one is going to make you all better. Science is not responsible for everything that you're doing. You and your God are. And so we've lost our place. And so the mother is coming in and she's designating who's going to play the roles of who. And this is like real. Like this is rigged up in people's astrology. This is not like Satan himself has come in and taken the helm. If you want to be honest, Satan works in much different ways, and Satan's been working this whole fucking time. It's the blasphemy that the fact that we even believe half the shit we believe. So this is a time of transmuting and transforming. This is not a time to be throwing hexes and using our power as witches and as wild divine women to try to control and stop. That is the misogyny. That is the fear. Stop. Take your place in the circle, Ma. Get tuned in, get connected to the higher octave. What is the next level of the priestess, the next emanation of the divine that wants to be born in you, free of this programming, free of this conditioning? That is what's being required of us now. And it's uncomfortable. I mean, what I've been moving through the past few days, like, whoa, all these different aspects of myself that believe these particular things. Just because we are calling forth the divine feminine to rise in the hearts of humanity doesn't mean that we get to dictate how that's going to look. It doesn't have to be in a female body. This is the mother's way. And this is a really beautiful time for you and me to understand. The mother does what she does. The divine operates in unimaginable ways. Wake up. She is shape-shifting into Trump when she wants to. She's shape-shifting into Kamala and Joe Biden. Like all of it is a play. So let's play our game proper. Let's come into the wholeness of our hearts and clear out all this fucking darkness and come back to center. This isn't about being kind. We've also lost our way with that. This distorted feminine of like being kind to everybody means that we should lie. No, no. And all these ideas that the mother is so nurturing and so kind all the time. Let me tell you, this has been the biggest lesson for me and the biggest wake up call. This Ma, she comes armed. When that bear goes and snatches its baby up with its mouth, it doesn't say, does it hurt you? It takes its baby and it moves forward. And this Ma is like, enough. For all of you that are like grieving tremendously around bodily autonomy, oh my God, can you please wake up to what's happening? Please, I love you so much. You need to see the bigger picture, and I can share it with you because I have been there. I was once fighting for women's rights in this way. I once thought it was the right thing for me. And I'm not saying it's not right for certain people. But there comes a point where we have to evolve beyond the systems we've created because we've outgrown them ourselves. It's not just the system that's corrupted. We have been corrupted. Our ideas have been corrupted. We became distorted. We bent a little bit and we thought this was the right thing, but it was poison for us. And then we have to learn, right? So please understand, this is not like, you know me. This isn't some churchy like preacher. This is like, I myself have evolved past abortion for me. Been there, done that, not so fun. And so now it's a time of education. It's a time of imbuing women with real power. So, because there's enough consciousness on the planet to do it, right? Now we can sit down with women and teach them about their fertility. Me and my colleague, my sister, we have a course launching to teach you all about your menstrual body, how you can be responsible for your own body. You won't need birth control pills anymore. You won't need abortions anymore. I mean, this is what we are being called to evolve into, like to shake ourselves out. And it doesn't mean that some people won't need these things, but what do you stand for? Are we all going to stay in the same box and scream for something that harms women? Fuck no. We have to evolve out of these ideas and become bigger versions of ourselves. Loving mothers who pass on the wisdom then that they have learned from being in the mud and say, hey, daughters, sisters, there's another way. I just want to show you something because it's really important. This is like the model of my life for now, as far as I know it. I open to be changeable. This is Saint Anna, and she is bestowing the wisdom teachings onto Mary, Mother Mary. And this is every woman and every mother who evolves out of the darkness and then and turns towards the one behind them and or the one in front of them and says, there, I have another way. I've been through that shit. Let me show you this way. This way is healthier for you. Maybe you don't have to go through the same things I went through. So raising it's about raising our awareness and finding new ways, innovative ways. This is the mother. And I just want to be clear, abortion is legal everywhere and it will still be, and your state will have access to creating those rules and that legislation. He has been positioned and manipulated by the media to say that he is like against abortion, and he's not. He's not even like a Jesus guy. His people are, but that's for many reasons. But anyway, so this story that you're believing, you have to understand, is it true? He just said, I don't want to be in charge of it. And yet we're still saying, like, he, no, he's just changing the way in which it's being done. And so you can still cross into states and do your whole thing. You could have done that before, but there was a lot of misuse and misunderstanding, and they were highlighting cases where women were having complications, and they were using dirty politics and playing you out to further indoctrinate and bring salt into your wounds so that you would stay anesthetized or so that you would become so rage filled that you couldn't even return to the light that is you. And for those that are so afraid right now, who are in the LGBTQIA communities, please, my family is in that community, and it's essentially part of my community. And this is not what this is about. And he's not a big old bigot, and nobody's going to come to your house and try to kill you because you're gay. Like, not true. And so please know that there are those that have voted in that way, and we love you and we will protect and support you, and that none of that changes. And there's things I can't speak on it directly because I don't have the details to pull it up, but he is very much on board with supporting and protecting those peoples. But of course, this fictitious shit that came in is like racist, bigot, and now you project all of your pain onto this guy and this Muppet, and we don't even know. So my point being is, until you know somebody, their heart, we know better than this. But this was part of the Divine Mother's play to help you to pull out all this pain. So whether or not you want to admit it or you're ready to see it, this guy's doing a service, a big service for women. We are vomiting all of our fear and our hate of men and all of our past feelings and unresolved traumas at this white guy. And it's a sad state of affairs, but it's real. And I know, and I've done it too. So I love you and I get it. But we have an opportunity to clean this up. So the bottom line to this, to bring this roundabout, is to say everybody's doing their job just right. And please continue to do yours. And that means taking care of yourself, taking care of your family. Just stop and just ask yourself, is this true? And would you like somebody believing horrible things about you? Like Can you imagine what that must be like? And I want to remind you, for those that are like, with, handing around your memes around, again, around whether our people, our siblings of color are going to be safe, or whether um, our communities will be safe. As long as you carry this pain in you, they're not safe even around you. You have to change this now. It's our time. We have to grow out of this and vomit this out of the body, particularly not on anybody, but in your own home and with the earth. Find ways, find practitioners to work with to heal and move through this shit so that we can expand our awareness. And if you are a woman who is afraid about not having bodily autonomy and you don't believe what I'm saying, then come and you can join our class and you can learn how to take care of your fertility. The mother is asking us to hold real power now. She's not asking us to throw ourselves up on the crap table and extend ourselves to all of these doctors. We are at a time on the planet where all of the herbalists are on board, where all of the witches and the medicine women and the healers are on board. Everybody's rising. What do you think it's for? It's so we can create new ways or bring back some of the old ways. But it is almost like bringing in new ways because our hardware and our software has been so distorted and we've been operating so outside of the truth of who we are. For those of you who are doing spiritual work, you know what I'm talking about. So this is the next layer of the mask. Let it open it up, let it bleed out. Take the pain out, wash it through, clean the vessel. Any way that you thought that any of what's been happening for the past 4 years is okay, you've been sleeping at the wheel. And so have I. And any way that you thought that, like, if you vote for this, enough with the identity politics, it is making people sick. It is swaying them in ways that is completely deteriorating their sense of character, their sense of like essence. The mother, as I said before, she will wreck shit and she does it because she loves you. And because of psychology and because of all this, like, we're trying to evolve, but we have like really distorted satanic ideas. And that's what we've been drinking. That's the soup we've been drinking since we were children. So please know, none of this is your fault, but the way in which we move forward, for all of my friends in Europe, I keep seeing all these memes of like the crying Statue of Liberty. You don't need to cry for us. We know exactly what we're doing over here. It's time for us to release these ideas. The mother is destroying shit. This is part of her play. Death comes, life is reborn. And so humanity has gotten so filled with violence and hurt and pain. And we are saying it's kindness, but it's actually not the truth. And anytime that we betray our own truth for somebody else's, there's nothing kind about it. That shit is betrayal. And so most of humanity has betrayed themselves and are being modeled that betrayal is a way to go. And we can respect others, and everybody has free rights and free roam and all these things. And I want to remind you, I have no doubt in my mind that there will be a time when there is a female president in office. It will happen when it's the right time, and we don't decide. It is when humanity grows up and evolves. And also there's big mafiosa stuff going on. And the mother would never put her daughters in that particular place. And when it's time, she will do it. And when it is time, it'll be the right woman. And I just want to be clear about this and speak to this because this is part of the distortion that is operating inside of humanity. And it's nauseating. And it's nauseating because I felt like vomiting when I realized I was carrying it. I had to vomit it out when I voted for Obama just because he was Black. I remember still to this day being on my terrace in Brooklyn, sipping on wine, celebrating with one of my girlfriends, so excited about gay rights, still excited about gay marriage, all those things perfect. But I was not actually, I was voting because he was Black. I wasn't voting because of anything else, to be really honest. There were just these key things that I was identified with, but I wasn't in my deeper awareness. So women, the lesson summation, please, if you think If you lay, the mother will teach you over and over again on purpose to show you where you're vulnerable, to show you where you're naive, to show you where you need to up level your discernment. If you put all your eggs in the doctor because you're in a brown body and you want the brown doctor and you think that the brown doctor's got your answers, you're going to be shown 6 ways to Sunday how that doctor is not. We have to move past the identity. We are spiritual beings. Now, if you are clear and you want somebody who looks like you, there's nothing wrong with wanting that because some people know certain things. And so you, for those that are in that place, do it, but don't put all your power in somebody else. It's crazy. We have externalized all of our authority, and now we're all upset. All the kids are upset all over the world. We're just so pissed off. So it's wrong. It's not an integrity, and it's not true that the divine feminine means you need to have a female present. You need to have the person in power who's capable of doing the job. And I want to just remind you, Tulsi is a badass. I mean, if you can feel the energetic, the difference between Kamala, who is a lovely sister, bless her, she's done what she came here to do, and you feel Tulsi around Trump. And there's so many women that are on board, and there are going to be so many people advising and supporting him. I just trust the divine play, but trust yourself to do what you need to do your part for humanity. Because every one of us is so important. We're so vital, but we forget. And that's purposeful. They wanted us to forget. So we sit around hemming and hawing and doing all the things. And so now it's a new time. So the energy is shifting. It's going to be messy, but birth is messy. And we don't like the destruction part, but the destruction part is a real part. You can't, if all these towers are standing and they're all corrupt, they need to be shattered. And the way in which that's done is not up to us. It's not always going to look beautiful. It's not always going to look polished and majestic and the way we want it to, but the job will get done. So here we are. And so we're going to be fine over the next 4 years as long as you do what you came to do. Your state of being is going to be dependent on how you process the material within your own body and your living world. So I trust very much that the intelligence of the mother is operating in full capacity and that she has hired this son of hers, his ego, his craziness, his chaos to move some stuff. And we need to keep moving ours. So if you see that you want to make America healthy again, for example, and Kennedy's coming with that superpower, I mean, hello, do you not see what's happening here? Even if you had even if at the federal level, abortion was still being taken care of and trans rights and surgeries were continuing as they were and monies were operating the way they were. Can you see? Just can you see? I'm just opening up a doorway for you. So celebrate with us all over the world that we are evolving. And for, again, really all of you women who are worried about this, me and so many other women have been put in place to bring forth new education, new consciousness, new ways of being, to transition us into a position of power so we can hold more of the mother's power. When we have abortions, we're vulnerable, we're leaking power. When we're all strung out on drugs and birth control and science is our Lord and we're taking all these drugs, we are harming the waterways. We are harming the physical body and we lose our minds. We lose our focus. We lose our clarity. And so we have to get healthy again. Maybe for some of us, it'll be getting healthy for the first time. I know for me, this is like a real state of evolution. And it's not always easy, but that's the beautiful thing. We are actually all doing that together. So I don't believe for a second that like this election was corrupt. I mean, everything's corrupt, but I don't believe. And if you're like, oh, he's from jail and like, great, great. What type of being had to be put in place to do this stuff? Who's going to like rebel against the government? Like, he could be like the grossest thing to you, but if you can see he's got a big job to do, and that is not my job, that's got to be his job. And Yeah, bless Kamala for doing her thing. So I went too long with this, but I just want to say, get honest, get clear. And for everybody, please, women leaders, I love you. I understand. Work it out inside of yourself. Don't lead your communities with this pain. If you have to step out and just take care of yourself, please do not project and fight and lead from all of this distortion, and take care of you. Take this time to take care of you. You can't lead in this way because I know you don't want this karma. I know you don't want to continue to collect and be a part of poisoning the people that you love. So that's really important. Take care. And if there are female, I'm saying this really clear, for those priestesses, leaders who are working through some of this stuff, if you need to book a session with me, if you need to deepen your understanding and you need to heal some of the deeper roots of this so that you don't continue to pour out onto your students and onto your clients, please take good care of yourself. This is your responsibility. We all need this. We all have people that we're accountable to. I have a teacher, right? Like we all have people in place to support us to move through this transition. Get the support that you need. Get what you need. And know that everybody's still your neighbor. The people that you think are your neighbors that sit in darkness with you, who are unconscious with you, who are believing the same things as you think they're your friends? Probably not. But the people that tell you the truth, who love you enough to mother you, like I showed you Anna and Mary, who want to pass down new ways, old traditions to bring more of you forward. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with right now. So there's going to be a time of reckoning. Clean out, get honest, assert yourself, sit in integrity, get clear. This is not a time for you to jump out in your social warrior movements. Like, come on, enough with that right now. There was a time for that, but right now there's a time for you to do your inner work. So you lead your movements with justice that is real, not because you want to have power over somebody or you want to sling dirt back and forth. You have to understand the victim and the perpetrator, they are one in the same. And we can see in humanity, in the same way all of these women wanted a woman. We don't want misogyny and we don't want to be identified in particular ways and all these things. And we're doing the same thing. We have the poison in us too. So we are all healing from this poison. Let's make some antidotes. Let's make some medicine together and let's support our kids. Like, let's not feed our kids all the, like, this is racism and everything is happening because everybody's against you. That is indoctrination that has come from the masses. No, no, there is a new way, and we'll find it together. So I love you. Be well, and I will see you again. Thank you.